Hey, it's Matt here with more answers to your freelancing questions. Today's question comes from Josh. Now, Josh is wondering something that's very common. What the heck do you do about a prospective client that just wants to get to the price? Josh is finding that this is happening all the time. Someone will contact him or call him, and they're willing to talk about the project for a little bit, but then they want at least a ballpark estimate. The call gets down to price very, very quickly. And of course, that puts Josh in a difficult position. Josh might not be ready to give a price. Josh might need to put together a proposal. It's very difficult if you're not experienced to give a price on the spot. But price isn't really the issue. This is usually a symptom of something deeper. I'm willing to bet what's happening is that Josh spends his time on the call talking about the specifications of the project. In other words, what is it that the client actually wants built? What Josh probably isn't doing is spending more time wondering why the client wants to get this project built in the first place. What's the underlying problem that's driving that build? And that's usually a much more interesting and profitable conversation, and one that clients or prospective clients will happily spend a lot more time talking about. So let me give you an example from my business. So again, I build websites. And if a prospective client contacted me and started telling me about the website that they want built, and I started asking them, well, what color of website do you want? What sort of functionality and features do you want? What sort of platform do you want it built on? You can see how quickly the client might say, well, I just need to know a rough idea of how much this will cost before I even continue any further. It's a line of questioning that's going to get very dull very quickly. And the problem is the client might not know what they want to begin with. So let's flip this around. Let's say they contact me again, and this time instead of launching into features and specifications about the project, instead I start by asking them why they want that website built in the first place. What business problem are they trying to solve? And I might have to ask why a few times, because the first answer might be something like, well, we just want a newer, nicer looking site. No one's willing to spend a lot of money making a nicer, newer website. There's usually a bigger problem beneath that. And if you dig into it, you realize, well, they want more sales. They want better marketing. They want to reach more potential customers. That's like almost every single business that gets in touch with you. Somehow they want to make more sales. Or if they don't want to make more sales, one way or another, then they want to save on expenses. So most business problems fall into those two categories. So if you start asking the prospective client those questions and find out why they want to get the project built, first of all, they're going to be a lot more attentive, right? Because suddenly you're asking them questions that they haven't already answered to 5 to 10 other people. This is probably brand new to them. And second of all, the real magic is now you can steer the conversation in the direction that you want to take it, and you want to start being the one that can actually suggest the right solution. If a client has a solution that they have in mind, it might be a great solution, but chances are it's not, because they are not the expert. You're the expert. So for example, having done this for I think 14 years now, just by listening to a client's problem and what they're trying to solve, I can start telling them roughly what I think we need to do in order to solve that problem. And then because I've done this for so long, I can actually give them a ballpark on the phone. And I do that oftentimes because it gives me an idea if they're serious or not. And if they don't have the kind of budget that I need, then I don't have to waste time building a proposal only to have them say, oh, we can't afford this. But that said, when you're starting out, you don't necessarily have that luxury. You don't really know what your prices are yet. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with setting the call, having that discussion, and then putting together that proposal. And if you've spent time to understand the client's problem, they're much more likely to understand that you need time now to create that proposal instead of just giving them an off-the-shelf price, because you need to consider their problem, and you need to consider what's going to be a good fit for them. Alternatively, depending on what kind of work you're doing, that first call might not even lead to a proposal. That first call might lead to a meeting where you then spend more time discussing the potential project. It might even be a paid discovery session where they pay you just to figure out what actually needs to be built, which might be more common with high 5-figure and 6-figure projects. So it depends. But bottom line is, if you consistently find that prospective clients are mostly interested in price, then almost certainly you're leading the call the wrong way. And if you're finding that if you try to lead the call into discussions of why the client wants the problem solved and why they want that project in the first place, and they're just not receptive, then that's a huge red flag that they're probably not going to be a great client. Because in that case, they probably are just mostly interested in price. And I mean, I'm sorry, but those clients are no fun to work with. So I hope that helps you. I hope that helps Josh. And if you want more answers to freelancing questions, then be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll be coming out with more of these videos every week or so.